Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see yesterday's and today's very important articles which appeared in our Hindu newspaper, guys. So before getting started, let us see the important topics that we are going to discuss in this class, that is topics of the day. So first topic is remove stray dogs from public places, says Supreme Court. So recently in the month of August 2025, Supreme Court gave an order to remove all those stray dogs which are present in this National Capital Territory region. So again there is one more update regarding the stray dogs in India, guys. This topic is important from polity, from GS paper 2 and as well as governance as well. Our next topic is SIR in Bihar election. So actually in our today's entire newspaper, the important article which had been occupied many spaces here is SIR, that is Special Intensive Revision. So let us see what is that Special Intensive Revision, why it is in news. And even in our today's editorial page, two articles are related to this SIR. So in your mains 2026, you may get question regarding this SIR for sure, guys. And this topic is important from polity, from GS paper 2. And next topic is FAO released the State of Food and Agriculture 2025 report. So whenever you're getting any kind of this reports, you will be getting prelims question as well as whatever the data which is there in that report, you can directly use in your mains answer. So this topic is important from governance and even from GS paper 3 economy as well. And next topic is India's electoral system, why nomination process needs reform. As you all know that in Bihar we are going to have elections soon. So regarding that, there is one article regarding nomination process of this election. You have to know what is that nomination process and what are the problems in our nomination process in India and what kind of reforms that we have to bring. And this is very important topic from your GS paper to under polity because elections is one of the favorite area of UPSC, guys. So if there is any update regarding this elections, for sure you can expect a question regarding that. And next topic is Karnataka is the first state in India to come up with this menstrual leave policy. So here you have to see what is that menstrual leave is about and what are the features of this policy and who are eligible and why Karnataka government came up with this. Is this article part of gender equality and as well as women empowerment or not? We have to see that kind of things, guys. And this topic is important from your governance from GS paper 2. And next topic is 150 years of composition of Vande Mataram. And as you all know that from history, if it is 100 years or 75 years, 50 years or 150 years, 200 years, so that topic will be very important. And for sure in 2026, you can expect a question regarding this Vande Mataram from your prelims, guys. And this is very important from your history point of view from GS paper 1. So these are the very important topics which appeared in our today's and as well as yesterday's Hindu newspaper. Let us see in detail, guys. Okay, see the title. Remove stray dogs from public places, says Supreme Court. Okay, so if you see why Supreme Court gave this kind of thing, why? Because first of all you have to know the data regarding many is caused by this stray dogs in India. And if you go through the newspaper or if you are watching the current affairs or like news anywhere, so you'll be coming across this kind of news like some months of baby or very young child below 5 years or 7 years like that, they are attacked by the group of stray dogs and those stray dogs kill this children especially. And this kind of menace is increasing day by day, guys. And here, especially in this Delhi region, there is increased menace of this stray dogs. Because of this, many petitions were filed in Supreme Court. And recently, in the month of August 2025, Supreme Court took this as so moto, and Supreme Court said that we have to remove stray dogs. And now, once again, the fresh thing which mainly made by the Supreme Court is directed earlier Supreme Court directed only Delhi region, but now Supreme Court directed all states and UTs to immediately remove stray dogs from very important public and institutional areas. What are those areas? It may be schools, it may be colleges, sports complexes, bus stops, railway stations, and government offices. In these public and very important places, it should be free from the stray dogs. And now Supreme Court strictly said not only this NCT region, but even all states and union territories to remove this. Why this decision took by Supreme Court in month of August? So actually there was one important article which was published in the month of August, that is City hounded by strays, kids pay price. This article exposed severe stray dog attacks on children in this NCT region. So whenever the stray dogs are attacking these children, which disease can be caused? Rabies. And this rabies is completely not curable. There is no permanent treatment for this rabies. So because of this, what happened? It is affecting entire the life of the children because of this stray dog's bite. Because of this, Supreme Court took this suo motu case, and Supreme Court said that we have to go for removal of the stray dogs in this NCT region, and now that directive had been expanded to all states and UTs now. If you see the data regarding this menace of stray dogs in India, India has around 62 to 80 million stray dogs across the country, and we can record like 2.2 million dog bite cases in 2024 alone. That means only in this 2024 year, 2.2 million cases of this dog bites had been recorded. And rabies from these dog bites account for 36% of global deaths. Not only in India, because of this rabies, 36% of global deaths are happening, which are primarily affecting these children, women, and elderly. Who are vulnerable to these stray dog bites? Obviously, children, especially women, and as well as elderly people. And even NCRB data also says that more than 4,000 dog bite fatalities occurred in 2019. But if you update this data, it will be for sure more than 5 times this data which had been seen in this 2019 years. And Delhi alone records over 35,000 animal bite incidents in the first half of 2025. From January 2025 till today, more than 35,000 cases. You can see the rate of this menace in this Delhi region. Here, if you see what are the legal and policy frameworks for stray dog management in India. So we have certain articles in our constitution. You have to make a note of this, guys. It is very, very important. Article 246 subclass 3 says that state manage preservation, protection, improvement of livestock, prevention of animal disease, and veterinary training or practice. So the article which talks about the animal protection in our constitution is Article 246 subclass 3. And second one is we have Article 243W and Article 246, which talks about local bodies are responsible for maintenance and controlling of stray dog population. So which are those local bodies? We have panchayats and municipalities. Panchayats and municipalities should play a very important role because it is written in our constitution. So because of this now, the directive which extended by the Supreme Court to all these states and UTs, who has to take work, who has to implement that? That is local bodies, guys. Under which article? 243 and 243(6). And this one is we have Article 51A subclass G, which talks about what? Fundamental duties. So here fundamental duties of citizens to show compassion for all living creature. So it is also one important article which is supporting the stray dogs. And this one is we have Article 21. So Article 21 is right to life even extended to animals. If you are going for forceful sterilization, culling of animals, even this Article 21, right to life for personally, but not only for humans, even animals will be getting violated. So these are the articles which are there in our constitution, talks about animals. And if you see the legal and policy framework, we have very, very important act, that is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. That means not only humans but even animals should be treated with humane. And next one here is animal birth control rules, that is ABC rules, very, very important. So if you are controlling the births of animals, obviously we can control their population. If you are controlling their population, we can also control this kind of bites. And this one is we have rabies control efforts. National Rabies Control Program, which is mainly led by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, aims for elimination of this rabies by 2030. But if we are going for this continuing increasing of this number of stray dogs, can we achieve this target? For sure we can't. So if we want to achieve this target of rabies elimination by 2030, then we have to be very, very careful and we have to focus on the measures to control this stray dog population and bites. So this is about this topic, guys, and see the next article, turnout bump. So this article is saying that voter awareness dearly searched following SIR controversy. Okay, so what happens if something is in news? Then only people will be knowing that, right? For example, if nothing is happening or if that news is not circulating, then will people know about that? So actually, you know that lots of cases which happen, lots of issues are there in our country. But do everyone knows every issue? For sure, no. Only whenever the issue become viral, then only the people comes to know. For example, recently, if you see the news, we have Chevalla bus accident. Mostly everyone knows that, and even Dharmasthala case was very hot topic last month. So everyone came to know at least the name of Dharmasthala. Dharmasthala is in Karnataka at least. And recently, bus accident happened in AP also. So everyone knows that. Oh, when you are going with this private sleeper bus, we have to be very much careful. They may caught fire. So like that, what happened if that news becomes sensational? If someone is supporting that, if someone is talking against that, if lots of debates are going on, for example, recently in Telangana, so there was halchal of one lady Agori. So everyone know about that name, Varshita. Yes, so like that, if something is becoming viral, then only people comes to know. So what is happening here is there is controversy which is going on regarding this special intensive revision in Bihar. So because of this kind of controversies, now people came to know that right to vote is their constitutional right and they have to utilize their right like that. So here, because of this controversy, that led to increased voter awareness in Bihar, not only especially Bihar, but even different parts of our country. Now citizens, they came to know about their powers regarding voting and why to vote, whom to vote, and even they came to know about campaigning, everything which they are getting certain awareness about elections in our country. So in this context, you have to see about what is this SIR controversy rather than keeping that controversy outside, but just at least know about what is this SAR, what we are going to do in this, because you may get directly a prelims based question in this SIR. So how can you expect this question is, recently SIR is seen in news. Consider the following statements and choose the correct option regarding how many statements are correct or which of the following statements are correct or incorrect. So in that way, you can expect a question regarding this SIR. Okay, special intensive revision of electoral rolls. It is a strategic exercise. Who will conduct this? Election Commission of India. So you may get like this also. Special intensive revision is seen in India. Which of the following organization or which of the following will take care of that? They'll give you Election Commission of India, State Election Commission of India, municipalities, panchayats. So what will be the answer there? Election Commission of India. It is not State Election Commission of India. It is not panchayats and municipalities. In that way also you can expect very simple question with directly ABCD options in your examination. That will be more tricky. So everything you will be remembering now. But if you go to examination hall, you will be having anxiety, depression, everything. And you will be having a tendency of doubt on you itself. This or that, this or that. Finally, you will keep wrong answer and you will come out. So don't do that. So be careful with that. So while you are reading this article, see clearly what is that. That observation will be very important. That observation skills will helps you to clear your prelims case. Now I think you might not be understanding this, but once if you give your once prelims, then you will understand. Somewhere I read this, but I'm not getting this right now. Why? So if you are having the keen observation skills, you can overcome that problem of confusion in your examination case. Okay, SIR, it is nothing but a large scale intensive revision of electoral rules which will be conducted by Election Commission of India under constitution and as well as statutory powers which are given under this. Okay, so just they'll go for nothing but they'll go for identify who are the eligible voters in that area and they'll go for removal of disease, that is nothing but death voter. So whoever died, so will they come and vote? No. So we have to remove their names. And next one here is ineligible entries also we'll remove. And if there are any incorrect entries, we can also remove those names and addresses. Okay, so this is about this intensive revision. So why it is important, what is significance here is, it reduces the ghost voters. Ghost workers is nothing but deceased voters. And also whoever registered for the multiple times. So we can also remove this duplication as well. And this one here is we can focus on demographic changes, large scale migration happened or not, and new electoral entrants, urbanization distortions. SAR addresses all these problems, guys. And this one here is we can also focus on improving of our inclusion of marginalized groups properly. Obviously, it will increase accountability and transparency in our election process. And it will also helpful for better polling logistics, like how many ballot papers we need in that area. So how many electronic voting machines are required. So what should be the area of this polling booth. Everything they will be having a clear-cut idea if they have a clear-cut data of voters in their hand. Okay, now let us see the next article. Title says FAO released State of Food and Agriculture 2025 report. Okay, so here you can get a simple question like recently State and Food Agriculture report is in news. Which of the following organization releases that report? They may give World Bank, IMF, WHO, FAO, UNESCO, like that. Whatever the possible options they can make, they can do that. So this is released by FAO. What is the full form of FAO? Food and Agriculture Organization. And they released the data in the name of one report. The name of this report is Addressing Land Degradation Across Land Holding Scales. So it mainly highlights human-induced land degradation process. So whenever there is increased land degradation or soil pollution or soil erosion, can we produce good amount of agriculture produce, good amount of grains? No, for sure. If you are not producing this produce properly, can we ensure food security in our country? Already you know that there is very high level of hunger, malnutrition, poverty. So because of this problem, almost all the problems will be further increased in our country or not? Yes. So because of this, we need to have this kind of reports. Whenever we are getting this kind of reports with clear-cut data, what is happening on ground reality, our government can make certain policies or come up with the schemes so that we can address these problems, guys. So if you see the facts here regarding this FAO, so this report will be released every year by this FAO, and it will focus on global agriculture and food system performance. And the important aim is we have to examine how humans are causing this land degradation or soil pollution, and what are the impacts of that activities of human on agricultural productivity they are going to see. Not only that, even livelihood, environment, sustainability, everything, whether we are focusing or not. And even we can understand what are the pollution that happened so far. So can we reverse that or not? We'll be also studying about this with this report which is released by FAO, guys. So if you see the highlights of this report, the first point they said is globally crop land had been declined. Not only in India, across the globe. So whatever the area that used to be done by the agriculture had been declined. About 20% of world's crop land declined because of human activities. For example, soil erosion, for example, organic carbon loss, especially seen in this Asia, Africa, and Latin American countries. And it's one here is regional yield gap severity. So actually what is happening, if you take India itself, North is famous for wheat, South is famous for rice. And even if you're moving from one state to another state, the diversity of crops we can see because of different conditions. But here this article is saying that in the sub-Saharan Africa and South Asian countries, so we have good produce, but in other countries there is very bad situation. There is divide of 70% of divide. In some states, whatever they are producing, if you compare with the maximum production and minimum production, there is a gap of 70%, and this gap is seen especially in the sub-Saharan African regions and as well as South Asian countries. And this one here is soil organic carbon loss is also happening. So there is decline of soil organic compound. Because of this, what is happening here? Reducing of water retention power and even weakening of resilience to droughts and as well as floods, especially in the semi-arid regions. So in these regions also there is very less agriculture productivity, guys. And this one here is small farmers are increasing day by day. As you all know that if you see the traditional Indian families, so if they're having certain amount of land, so if those families having, for example, three sons, and what happened, his father has to divide this land into three parts, and each part should be given to the next generation. For example, this guy again have two children, two boys. Then whatever the part he got, now he has to divide it into two parts. One should be given to one son, and another should be given to next son. For example, this son has three sons again. For example, so whatever the area he got from his father, now he has to divide it into three parts. So that is a one important problem in India, that is fragmentation of land is happening from one generation to another generation. So because of this, what is happening? Small and marginal farmers are increasing in India. So if you see the data, around 84% of farmers in India is small and marginal. Small and marginal means nothing but farm area is less than 2 hectares. So what is the hectare? If you convert 1 hectare into acres, how many acres is 1 hectare? 2.5 acres is 1 hectare. That means it is less than 2 hectares means nothing but less than 5 acres of land. Around 84% of people in India, they are having this problem of small and marginal land. And this land is also very much vulnerable to this land degradation because of poor access to finance and as well as technology. And next one here is large farm impacts. Only top 1% of the people, they are having this large land, that is more than 5 acres or like 2 hectares of land. And next one here is climate is also causing lots of impacts on agriculture productivity. Why? Because nowadays we are using this private vehicles, more carbon dioxide emissions, that leads to more global warming, and that in turn leads to this pollution. So because of this, what is happening here? Further more impact on agriculture productivity, and even it is going to have impact on our achieving of sustainable development goals. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title, India's electoral system, why the nomination process needs a reform. So here you have to see what is this nomination process and where we have to come up with reform and what are the measures. And it's a very, very important topic from your polity guys. Okay, so this article is saying that there is a need for reforms in the nomination process in our India's electoral system. If you see about some facts regarding this nomination process in electoral system in India, so nomination will be carried out by Election Commission of India, and this Election Commission of India gave in detailed process of how the nomination should be and how they have to file the nomination. For example, if you want to file a nomination, then what is the first thing that you have to see? Whether you are eligible for that nomination or not. So what is eligibility criteria? Candidates need to meet age and voter registration requirements as per RPA. So Representation of People Act says about what is a minimum age for voting. So what is the minimum age for voting in India? 18 years. So if you got 18 years and if you are eligible for this criteria of nomination, and that should be according to Representation of People's Act of 1951. So first thing is we have to check our eligibility, whether you are eligible or not. And this one here is we have to fill the forms. For example, if you want to contest for Lok Sabha or if you want to contest for State Legislative Assembly, you have to fill two different forms. For Lok Sabha, you have to fill 2A, and for Rajya Sabha, you have to fill this 2B form. And you have to give even documents called as affidavits. That means nothing but if you have any criminal cases on you, criminal records, or else your assets, properties, and your debts, that is nothing but liabilities, all these things that you have to give with that form. And this one here is now our officers, what they'll do is they will nominate, they will see the papers, nomination papers, and they'll go for detailed scrutiny whether you're eligible or not, what are the information that you gave, it is true information or like any fake information. So they'll go for scrutiny, and who will do the scrutiny? Returning officer. Very, very important. Returning officer will do scrutiny. And next one here is candidates may withdraw by a specialized deadline. So they will give certain time, nomination open and nomination closed. And within this nomination time, they have to give the nomination. For example, if they want to withdraw in between itself, means also they can withdraw from this. And next one here is, even government came up with this one portal called as N-Core portal. Please make a note, N-Core portal, which mainly focuses on online submission of nomination forms and as well as affidavits. Okay, and what reforms we need? So first one is, this article is asking to restore fairness. So now returning officers, they need to be legally required to issue notices specifying exact defects and relevant provisions. And even uh, we have to allow 48-hour of correction window after application of nomination. Also, if there are any spelling mistakes or anything which had been done wrong, so they have to give 48 hours of correction window. And next one here is, they have to provide it with a reasoned rejection order as well. And this one is, we have to adopt digital by default framework, guys. We have to go for online verification of IDs, voter IDs, age, etc. And even we have to go for digital submission of oath and affidavits. And even what are the payment systems that we are taking for the nomination of these voters, so nomination of this leaders. So we have to go for electronic payment system only. There should not be any cash transfers there. Okay, and public dashboard should be provided tracking every stage of nomination, including what are the reasons why this nominated got been rejected. Everything needs a proper decision. And next one here is, this article says that why we have to come with this reform is, we have to strengthen our democracy. When nomination is rejected unfairly, what happens? The rights of the people will be getting violated. And if nomination once cancelled means, can they contest in the elections? No. So we have to go for proper candidates' right to contest and as well as voters' right to choose. And if you see in other countries, not only in India, other countries also came up with this kind of things. The first one is UK. UK helped the candidates to correct errors before the deadlines. And Canada provides 48 hours to fix deficiencies. And this one is Germany and Australia. They also require the written notice and provides the appeal opportunities, guys. These are the other countries, what they are doing. In the same lines, India can also do something to come out of this problem. And now let us see the next article, very important article of the day. Title says Karnataka menstrual leave policy. So actually, you know that every month for 5 days, women will be having this menstrual cycles or menstrual period. At that time, women will be having extensive stomach pain, body pains, and even mood swings can happen. So because of all these things, it will be having impact on the woman's mental health. And now here, Karnataka government took the step to relieve this mental pain and to provide some mental relief for the women. So Karnataka government has approved a landmark menstrual leave policy, and under this policy, companies will going to grant 1 day of paid holiday. That means for every month they will provide 1 day of paid holiday. And if you see overall 1 year, how many days of holidays they'll give? They'll give 12. So up to 12 days annually, they are going to give this paid leave for women who are working in both government and private sectors. It is not only applicable to government sector now, even for private sectors, including IT, governments, and service industries. So because of this step now, Karnataka is the first Indian state to extend such kind of benefits to women employees across the sectors. That means, can I say, is it an example of women empowerment? Yes, so this will be very much helpful for women to maintain their mental health, emotional bonds, everything that will be helpful now. So if you see why, what is the core idea behind this kind of policy? Okay, so this policy mainly says that menstrual health is very, very important for women, especially in the aspect of women's workplace and well-being. And they are aiming to normalize conversations around this menstruation, and also they are recognizing what kind of challenges faced by the women during this 5 days period, such as cramps, fatigue, discomfort, that even affect the productivity during the periods. So if you're having stomach pain, if you're having this body pains, can you do the work to that 100% efficiency? So no. So because of this, they're going to get holiday on that. So what are the key features? First one is it is applicable to only men, not for male, and as well as not for transgenders. Only for female it is applicable, and it is applicable in both private and as well as public sectors. And how many days you're going to get? One leave per month, that is around 12 days of paid leave for 1 year. And the objective here is we have to promote gender sensitivity at workplaces and employee welfare. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly done by this Kerala government. And what is significance? The first one is Karnataka government only. No, Karnataka government. So what is significance? We can ensure gender equity at work, and we are focusing on women rights and as well as women dignity at this workplace. And next one here is it will be also helpful in inclusivity in this labor policies. Not only now maternity benefits, women not only going to get this maternity benefits, that is 6 months of paid leave during this pregnancy time and after delivery, but now they are going to get every month one paid holiday. And this public health perspective, if you see from that, menstrual pain is recognized by the World Health Organization as a genuine health concern, which will be affecting this work participation to maintain public trust on the government and as well as so and so institute. So they came up with this kind of things. And its one is it will also encourage well-being of women employees without reducing their workforce participation. So normally many women they won't come outside to work because of this problem of menstruation. Every month they will be having their cycles. So because of this, what happens? Sometimes they'll feel that there will be no lack of security, and even they will be having this extensive pain. So if this kind of holidays are promoted by the government, obviously what happened? We can encourage more work labor, female workforce participation in this economic activities, guys. You see this article 150 years of composition of Vande Maratham. Very, very important. And please note down what are the points which are appearing on the screen. India marks 150 years of composition of Vande Mataram, and this song ignited national consciousness during this freedom struggle. Who wrote this? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, very important. And it is a national song of India since 1950. If you see the historical background of this Vande Mataram, so it was composed in which language? Sanskrit and Bengali language, and first appeared in this Bankim Chandra's novel Anandamath. Very, very important. In Anandamath novel, so the first time this Bankim Chandra Chatterjee used this Vande Maratham. So Vande Maratham means I bow to thee, mother, where mother refers to the mother India, guys. And this became a rally cry during this Swadeshi movement which happened in year 1905. Very, very important. And in 1950, on January 24th, Constituent Assembly accorded the status of national song, and it was like it is to be honored equally with this national anthem. So what is significance of this song? Very important. It represents fusion of literature and as well as nationalism. It is also an important call for national awakening. It embodies ideals of unity in diversity and even spiritual nationalism and collective identity. So these are the keywords that you can use in your answers. You may also get mains question like what is the significance of Vande Mataram and what was the role played by this song during this Indian freedom struggle. So like that you can also get mains based question because this modern history is there for your prelims and mains, right? So you may get that kind of questions also in your mains. You have to be very careful while writing those answers. So you have to see about these ideals of unity and diversity, spiritual nationalism and collective identity. And next one here is this song also illustrates how our art and literature serves as catalyst for social and political transformation. And if you see some facts regarding this Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, he was born in year 1838 in Naihati, and finally he died in year 1894. he was one of the pioneers of modern Indian literature, and he was called as Sahitya Samrat. Very, very important. Sahitya Samrat of Bengal. So you may get question like this: who of the following got this name of Sahitya Samrat in India? That is nothing but Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. And he also served as deputy magistrate under British administration as well. And major important books were written by this person like Anandamath, Durgesh Nandini, Kapal Kundala, blended patriotism, spirituality, and as well as nationalism. So finally, that laid a culture foundation for India's freedom struggle. So just see about some facts regarding this Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and as well as this song Vande Mataram, guys. Very, very important. And in today's article, we discussed about two important topics which are going to be your questions. First one is SIR, second one is electoral reforms, and third one is this one, 150th anniversary of this Vande Mataram. So these are the very important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like this class and share this class. And we are providing notes in our Telegram channel in the form of PDF. You can download that. For that, you have to join our Telegram channel. And next one here is we are providing current affairs in short, and as well as mains question with modal answer, and as well as prelims question with answer also in our Instagram page. You can follow us there as well. Thank you so much, guys.